Can you hear me? Oh my gosh, y'all. I don't know. Of course, I would have technical difficulties tonight. Gosh, y'all. I don't know. Sorry, I needed to mute myself. All right, let's see here. Let me go back to the group. All right, y'all. I'll be right back. I'm going to go to my computer for a second. You going live? Yeah, I'm just having issues. The camera won't broadcast into my private group. Oh. Even though I've installed the access. I'm trying to get everybody tagged. Yeah, it's a serial. Huh? No, y'all can use it this one. Okay. I was just trying to tag people that were in the group so they would know where to come find us. Yeah, tag. I think, let's see, I was trying to tag everybody. I thought Karen was already here. Oh, now it's. Come on. Now my tablet's not acting right. Woo! All right, y'all. I am so sorry for us being almost 30 minutes late. So, this camera that I use. Let me turn myself down. It said I needed to install an app into the group. So in the group, you're going to see where I installed that Mevo Access, but that didn't work at all. So I apologize that we're going to be doing this in the public. So what I'll do, I've got a recording with all the step-by-step that I'm working on as well. So I'll put that recording into the group. That way you've got my step-by-step recorded tutorial, and then I put the PDF document in the group too. Karen, it's not a Word document. It should have been an Adobe PDF document. Those usually you can open up pretty easily on any device, whether it's a PC or a Mac or an iPhone or an Android. I'll make sure I put the PDF. I thought I put the PDF in there, not the doc, not the actual Word doc. Oh, hold on, y'all. I need to get a board. All right, so that is what we're... Oh, you don't have access to the printer. Well, that's a different issue. So this is what we're going to be making tonight. Not necessarily in these colors. This is one I made today just to have an example to show y'all. So we've got our green leaves on the outside, and then a layer of pink, a layer of white, a layer of pink, and then our flower center. So similar to the other ones that I've made, this is a lighter pink, and then just a white checked burlap mesh, and then our leaves on the outside. So this is what we're striving for. All right, so let's get our supplies together. Well, before we get our supplies together, make sure you've turned on this is your wood burning tool. So go ahead and turn it on. There's probably a switch on the cord. So turn that on. And I'm going to show y'all, this is what I do with my That's what I do with that little holder that comes with the wood burner. I just super glue mine down to the table. Or if you were using your cutting mat, you could super glue it to your cutting mat. That way, because this little thing that little bracket thing likes to just fly all over the place and doesn't do a very good job of holding your wood burner on. All right, let's go back to our lab. Go ahead and turn your glue gun on. Get it heating up. Your wood burner, get it on. Liz, your board should look similar to this because I've seen the Dollar Tree flower boards, and they're gray and they have holes in them. Now, I don't know if the holes are arranged the same way as this board. We'll have to figure that out as we start putting in the zip ties, okay? You're going to need some wire snips like this. pair of scissors, your zip ties, your U-pins, your flower center, your poly burlap mesh, and some chenille stems. You're going to need 3. I think that's something I need to update. I think in the instructions I said 2, but that's wrong. You're going to need 3. But if you've got 2, you've got 3. But hello, everybody. Hello. I don't think I've said hello to y'all. I'm being a little spotty. Well, you never know. So, good evening, Mary and Liz and Linda and Karen and Maria. And I thought I saw someone else earlier. Kathy McDonald. Welcome, welcome. All right, so those are the supplies you need. I thought I would... Let's see, how do I get back to... There we go. I thought I would show you all some different colored flower heads. So they make all different colors of flower heads. Deco, I think right now just has the one color, but they had these earlier this year. So here's like a traditional sunflower one. And then they've got kind of a brownish, called brown color with kind of an orange tip. Here's a beautiful bright yellow. And then here's a pink with yellow. So they do make different flower centers. You can also make your own flower centers using a piece of styrofoam and rope. There's this rope that you can buy. The other thing I was going to show y'all, a little tip. So when you've got mesh that you've leftover mesh, shoplikejohn.com, click on Deco Exchange. Deco Exchange has umbrella bags, and you can take your mesh and put it in these umbrella bags, and that way when you store it, the mesh doesn't all stick together. These are not that expensive at all. You get like 100 in a pack, and it makes life a lot easier. Okay, before we load our board with the zip ties, we're going to go ahead and prep our flower head. All right, so we're going to take 2 U-pins. And 2 chenille stems. We're going to take our first chenille stem and wrap it around that U-pin. Hey, Maria. All right. So that you've got something that looks like this. Now I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to put hot glue at the bottom of the 2 stems of this U-pin. And then I'm going to go to one end. I'm going to kind of push this U-pin in a little bit and then push it into this styrofoam flower head. All right. And then I'm going to take hot glue and just hot glue all around this. This hot glue is going to kind of melt the styrofoam a little bit, and it's going to create a very strong bond there, so that when we attach this flower head to the center of our flower board, it's not going to go anywhere. All right, just wrapped that chenille stem around the U-pin. Put some glue on the U-pin. Come over here right across from where we put that one in. Put this one in. Then I'm just going to put glue all around that. All right, I'm going to set this over to the side so that it can be drying. And the next step is going to be to load our board. Okay, when you're making this, whether you're making it for you or you're making it to sell, if you look at this board, it has two sides. One side has the Unique in the Creek logo, and it says Made in Canada, patent pending. This is the side that you want up. Because if you were going to sell this, you don't want your customer seeing Unique on the Creek on the back of here and going and searching for Unique in the Creek to either buy another wreath. So we're going to start on this side. If you look on your outside ring, which is row 1. So when we're counting rows, we go row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. And then you've got your center 2 holes. All right, so there's 5 rows. Tammy, I did give it permission. There are, it shows in the group where I gave the Mevo permission, but my Mevo still will not connect to the group. It just keeps saying, please go install the Mevo app to the group. And I've uninstalled the app in the group, reinstalled the app. I tried the single Mevo app, the multicam app. I've installed it, uninstalled it. It will not connect to that group. So this was all I knew what to do. Yeah, I know. If you can't tell, I'm a little baffled and frustrated. But I feel better now that my coach is here. Because I'm like, I've done all the things. All right, y'all. Let's get back to this board. All right, so we're going to skip the outside row for now. We'll put those zip ties in. Yes, we did. We need to do a mock live. I just thought, oh, it'll be so easy. I'll put in the app and be done, and all the things. Yes, next time we will test. All right, y'all. So we're going to do this outside row after we put in our zip ties on the inside rows. You'll notice on this outside row, there are 2 holes here that are really close together. Then the rest of these holes are more spaced apart. These 2 holes are to put in your hanger, okay? So we're going to skip those holes when we're putting in zip ties. All right, we're going to start loading zip ties on the outside. So in this second row, you've got 16 sets of holes. On the inside row, you've got multiple holes, but we're only going to put zip ties in on the 2 holes that are close together. So that gives you 8 sets of holes. And then on this 4th ring, you've got another 8 sets of holes. All right? That's all right, Carol. All right, so get out your zip ties. When you're putting in your zip tie, you're going to notice that the zip tie has a raised head and then a flat side. All right, you want to make sure when you're putting in your zip tie that the flat side is up, so that when you get that zip tie in there and loaded, you can take that zip tie, you're going to push the zip tie through, but you're only going to click it 2 or 3 times. Don't close it all the way, okay? We're going to do this all the way around our board. And if you have a plastic bag, do not set your plastic bag over here on your workbench. I mean, on your wood burner. James, what are you referring to? What size? Size of the zip ties? Size of the flower board? Too late. Karen, did you already burn something? The flower board and the zip tie. So the flower board is a 15.5-inch flower board, or as they call it, a large flower board, round. The zip ties are 6-inch zip ties. You can get both or any of the supplies you see tonight by going to shoplikejohn.com. Again, that's shoplikejohn.com, and click on Deco Exchange. Ow, Karen. Yeah, when I first started using a wood burner, I wasn't sure if I had it on or not because I couldn't remember if I clicked the button on. And I was like, well, how about we just touch the end of it? Yeah, don't ever touch the end of that wood burning tool after it's heated up. Let me just tell you, you'll burn the fire out of yourself. All right, just continuing to put these zip ties in. And at first it may feel a little strange, but eventually you'll get the hand feel of putting these in. They actually make, if you want to like really get industrious and make these like it's your job, they have a machine apparently that will, I guess you put the thing over these 2 holes and it'll just put the zip tie in, and I guess you can set it to only close the zip tie a little bit or something. Have I seen this machine? No, I just hear people talking about it in the different Wreath groups that I'm in. Sure. All right, so once you've completed the second row and you go into the third row, you're going to see where there's two holes close together and then a single hole, and then two holes close together and then a single hole. We're loading the zip ties into the two holes. All right, we're going to skip the single hole. And you may find that the way that I'm doing this, you may find an easier way or a quicker way to put these in. There's no telling how many different ways to put these in. Oh, no problem, Liz. Yeah, as y'all have questions or if you need me to like change the camera angle or zoom in or zoom out, just ask. If you need me to go back and explain something, just let me know. Well, like I said earlier, I recorded everything in smaller segments, and I'm going to put all that together with a voiceover and with like still frames and a better teaching type video, and I'll put that in the group so that y'all have that. I'll download this live and put this live in the group and delete it from my business page for y'all. Since going live just in the group didn't work out. All right, going into our fourth row. Put that in wrong. Sometimes even though you try to put the flat side in right, you still put it in wrong and have to turn around and go back. All right, is anyone still loading their board? I want us to kind of somewhat stay together. Anybody need more time to load their board? Is anybody else loading their board? Am I the only one? Oh, Mary, I just figured you tried to cuss. Go, Mary. Mary's done. Okay, Linda. Good deal. And hopefully the step-by-step guide that I made for y'all is helpful. Hopefully I should have printed it out myself. All right, Mary's done. Karen's done. Liz, are these holes matching up with the Dollar Tree holes? Oh, good. I'm glad, Mary. You pre-boarded? That's okay, Maria. We're just glad that you're here. Okay, so there's more rows on the Dollar Tree board. I haven't gotten my hands on a Dollar Tree board, so I'm not sure. Oh, thanks, James. And welcome. James is new to our group. Welcome. I'm glad you're here tonight. There's 6 rows. Okay, so I guess you won't have anything on your row 5 and 6. I'll have to try to get my hands on one of those boards so that I know like the differences and I can help y'all. Or if one of y'all finds them and wants to mail it to me, I'll pay you for it. All right, are we ready to move on to cutting our mesh? Anybody need more time? Should I do the... That's what I would do, Liz, for right now, because not seeing that board, it's possible that you're going to need you may need another row of petals. I'm not sure, but for right now, let's do the second, third, and fourth, and just mimic how I did my... So for you, it would be, 2, 3, 4. Mimic my 2, 3, 4. And then you're just going to have a 5 and a 6 that's not going to have anything on it right now. And what I'll probably do is have you take a picture of it and send it to me in Messenger. And then I'll go take a look at it before we do the inner part. I've never heard of Mel's Crafty Mojo on Etsy. All the places I shop at are on shoplikejohn.com. That's Deco, White Bayou, Unique in the Creek, and Trendy Tree. I always liked the sound of the cha-ching from Etsy, but it wasn't a sale. Somebody favorited one of my wreaths. That's all right. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move to cutting the mesh, if that's okay with everyone. I'm just going to set this out of the way. All right, so you want to grab your cutting board. Okay, no problem, Liz. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start cutting our mesh. What I like to do is take my cutting board and I'm going to flip it over so that I'm cutting on the smooth side. The way that I have my mat set up, 1 is on over here and 36 is here. So I know I'm going to take my mesh, my piece of mesh, and go to 32. That means I need to cut at 22. So I'm going to make sure that my cutting board is over the number 22. So I've got that line at 22 that I can see, and my cutting board is over it. When you're cutting this poly burlap mesh, you want to make sure that you're cutting on a tempered glass cutting board. Do not try to cut this with a wood burner on your mat. The outcome will not be pretty, all right? You're going to take your moss green or olive green. This is going to be our leaves. We need 5 leaves, so we're going to make 5 10-inch cuts. So I'm taking the edge of my poly burlap. I'm putting the edge at 32. I'm going to come over here with my wood burning tool, and I just used the flat beveled tip. Your wood burning tool is going to come with several different tips, and I should have told you this at the beginning, but I just remembered. So hopefully you put the main tip on here, and then we're just going to take our wood burning tool, and you're just going to drag it down on that 22 line, or whatever line that you set up. For me, it's 32 and 22. You just want to make sure you have a 10-inch piece that you're cutting off. So 1, 2, 3. I already had one piece left over from today. That for me is piece 2. This is some leftover from the last flower wreath that I made, so I'm just going to use this up. 1, 2, 3. And you know, there are going to be some fumes from cutting this mesh. So you want to make sure you're working in a well-ventilated area. And you want to make, like I have a fan going behind me just to kind of blow the fumes around or away from me. And then if you want to, you can also wear a mask when cutting this. Or you could, go out to your garage and cut it instead of cutting it in your house. I don't think that's 10 inches. Nope. Grab my roll. 4. 5. So we need 5 pieces for the leaves. All right, done with my green. All right, so once you're done with your green, you're going to cut your other colors. I'm going to go ahead and cut my white. My white is going to be row 3. So on row 3, I have 8 zip ties. So I'm going to need 8 pieces. For me, it's white. So whatever color you're going to start with on row 2, you're going to need 16 pieces of that color. Then you're going to need 8 pieces of your coordinating color, and then another 8 pieces of your first color. So all in all, you need 24 pieces of one color, and then 8 pieces of your coordinating color. All right. Lori, you use a wood burner because poly burlap mesh is a very heavy plastic. And if we were to cut this with scissors, it would just fray like crazy. So by cutting it like this, we're sealing the edges as we cut it. And you won't get the fraying. Y'all, on this checked mesh, once you make one cut, you're going to end up with the other side with the weave sticking out. I always go back and seal up that other end and cut off these excess little pieces. So you're going to end up with a lot of little excess little pieces. And I just brush them off. I say it to the floor, but I have a giant plastic mat underneath me, so they just go onto the plastic mat, and then I vacuum them up. All right, there's one. Two. Oh, you're very welcome, Maury. Yes, all your petals and your leaves are cut at 10 inches. So this is 10-inch poly burlap, and we're cutting the 10-inch poly burlap at 10 inches. Probably should have started with that. But since I guess I'm thinking all of y'all have, opened the written tutorial and read everything, right? The instructor put out the syllabus. Come on, y'all. I had fun writing that up for y'all. It reminded me of teaching college and writing instruction manuals, and some of my classes that I taught, there weren't even books. The books were the workbooks that I created. And hopefully those of y'all who are cutting with your wood burning tool, you're starting to get the knack of it by now. It takes a little figuring out, but then once you have it figured out, it goes pretty easy. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How's everybody doing cutting their mesh? Everything going okay? I'll be glad when I can set up in-person classes here. That'll be so much fun. I do, Lori. This was actually a paid class, and everybody else here is actually already paid for the class. But the private group that this was supposed to be in, my camera would not broadcast to it. So I had to go live on my public page. But in the group is the complete supply list, as well as there's going to be some other instructional videos. I'll post the, let's see, some other instructional, I'll post the link here to the class. And if you want like the supply list and the written out instruction booklet, and then the recorded tutorials, you can click on that link and that will take you to the pay link for the class. And then I'll add you to the private Facebook group where you can get all the other resources. Let's see, we need 3 groups of 8. So you're going to need 5 cut pieces for the leaves, 16 plus 8, so 24 of one color, and then 8 of your other color. Because we have 3 rows of ties. So this outside row will be one color. The next row will be a different color. And then the inside row is going to be the same as, or the fourth row is going to be the same as the second row. So 24 on rows 2 and 4 and 8 on row 3. All right, I've got my 8 white. Just going to put them together. All right, so for this wreath, I'm doing white and then this teal for Mary. When I bought this color, that's exactly who I was thinking of. My good friend Mary. So when you have a new roll, you may want to square off the end because the end could be a little bit frayed. So you're just gonna, I like to turn it over with a mesh. Sure, I'm making you a wreath. I need to turn my fan over here. Whew. These fumes can start getting to you. All right, so 24 cuts of this. 2. Three. Well, Linda, I know what you're talking about in terms of finding colors. I was needing some more fuchsia poly burlap. It took 4 or 5 different stores before I found that color. I wanted some more fuchsia poly burlap and some more of the white check. And like I could find one at one store and one at a different store. That's just because everyone's having a hard time getting stuff in. So I ended up finding what I wanted at White Bayou. And they had a bunch of other new stuff in. So I got a bunch of stuff. I ordered me a stem cutter. So a stem cutter is used to cut those really thick stems on florals. Now I just gotta find me a pick machine, preferably a used one, because that thing's expensive. Did y'all see my sped up butterfly video and then the full video of making the butterfly with the florals? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, there's 10. So I've been teaching myself this video editing software on my computer called Filmora. So that I can start doing more video content. Trying to, do all the things to get more Facebook followers. Well, Liz, right now my store is my Etsy store. Thank you, Linda. Oh, buy a cheap cup of coffee with it. I'll wait for a lot of people to buy UTIC boards, and then I'll take that and buy me a Starbucks. Oh, you mean like a supply store? I don't know if that's the direction I want to go in. I mean, on this main color, I'm cutting 24. I have 15 so far. Let's see, Maria, you put some smelly trash out on the porch. The cats were super interested. I went to get the bleach to pour on it to shoo them away from the scent. Went to put the bleach away and read it's a cleaner that's odor free. So are the cats still there? Hopefully they're not licking the bleach. Thank you, Linda. Yeah. Well, there's 10-inch and 21-inch. So your standard poly burlap is 10 inches by 10 yards. So, but there is 10-inch and 21-inch. But for doing wreaths, or at least the kind of wreaths that I make, I only use 10-inch. I have not used the 21-inch poly burlap. Yep, me too. I'll cut it. I don't think so, Linda. She was traveling today, so if you follow her personal page, she was sharing videos of the family traveling. It was hysterical. But she's off this week on spring break. Y'all, what Linda is asking about Tammy in our business coaching group. So if you're interested in our business coaching or creative coaching, you can go to learnlikejohn.com, and join any of our business coaching or creative coaching. You don't have to put your pieces together. I do just to kind of make it easier on space. This type of mesh nests really well together where the poly burlap does not, or the deco mesh, does not. Yeah, right. Yeah, I bet that wood burner just completely obliterated that deco mesh. All right, anybody else still cutting mesh? Is everyone done with watching me cut mesh? Who's ready to make some leaves? Linda, there is a link on the Deco Exchange website, and there is, take your time, Karen. There's a link on the Deco Exchange website that says affiliate, and you complete the application, and then you just wait for them to approve you. So any of the businesses that I have set up affiliates with, anybody can set up an affiliate with. Now, you can't shop through your affiliate. Your affiliate is for you to share with other people to shop for them. Ready for leaves. Kathy's ready for leaves. Mary's ready for leaves. Yeah, James, there are a lot of different types of meshes. So we're using poly burlap mesh, which is a really thick plasticky mesh. There's also fabric mesh, deco mesh, tinsel mesh, paper mesh. But just make sure you, James, make sure you click on the screen and tap those three little dots up there and follow me. I'm live 3 nights a week, and I do teaching lives. I usually do not turn my heat tool off yet because I'm really bad about miscounting. And I usually have to go back and cut another piece of one of the colors, especially since I'm talking. Yes, there are as many meshes as there are Bubba Gump types of shrimp. All right, so let's make some leaves, y'all. But yeah, just make sure you like and follow my page, James, and that way you'll know when I go live. So I go live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, y'all. So you're going to take your square piece of mesh. Well, before you do that, all right, let me show you how we're going to do these leaves. Okay, so you're going to find on your board the 2 holes on the first row that are close together. Okay, this will make sense here in a minute, but you're going to find those 2 holes. And I'm going to actually turn the board to where the 2 holes are facing me. So you're going to find your 2 holes. I'm going to go to the right. So I go to the right. I'm going to count 2 over. This is where we're going to put our first leaf. I'm going to take my zip tie, stick it there through the hole, and then just lay the board back down so that you see the zip tie just sitting there. Okay? All right, so now we're going to make our first leaf. We're going to take this square. We're going to take one corner, fold it in, take the other corner opposite it, and fold it in. Okay? So you're going to have the 2 opposite corners folded in here in the center, and then we're going to scrunch. You're just going to scrunch up that center to where you have this. All right. We're going to take this, bend it in the center, just to kind of shape it. We're going to take this and set it right here. on the board on top of our zip tie. Okay? Now we're going to close our zip tie. As tight as you can. You can also, if you need to, use needle nose pliers to tighten it up. So we got our 2 leaves. We're going to take our snips and we're going to snip off that excess zip tie. Set it to the side. Now, we've got our first one loaded here. We're going to count to the 3rd hole, but we're going to skip these 2 holes here in the middle. So 1, 2, 3. All right, so the 3rd single hole, we're going to put another zip tie in. We're going to grab another leaf. All right, I'm going to fold in the center. Fold that point to the center. And then scrunch it all up. Bend it a little bit. Lay it here on your board. Close your zip tie. All right, I've got a fray here on this edge. I don't know how that happened. I'm just going to give it a little bit of haircut. Must have had an edge that I didn't. So if you notice you've got an edge that's not sealed, just come back in and seal it. Because you don't want this to end up fraying when it gets on someone's door. All right, we got those leaves in. Gonna count 1, 2, 3. Put this next set of leaves in. Fold that point to the center. Fold the opposite point to the center. And just scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. Lay it here on your board. All right. Count the 3. 1, 2, 3. Fold it into the center. Fold the opposite into the center. Scrunch, 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 scrunch. Bend it a little bit. Put it here on the board. Close in your zip tie. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to put in our last leaf. All right, everybody got their leaves in? Anybody still working on leaves? Oh, nice, Kathy. So more of a fall. You think yours are upside down? If it looks good, Karen, go with it. I mean, when we go to make our petal, some people put in the petals right side up, which is what I'm going to do. Some people put them in right side down. So it's all a matter of preference. A leaf is a leaf. So the main idea is just to have, because we're going to cover most of these leaves up with petals. So it's just to have kind of that little bit of green back behind the flower so that it, looks somewhat natural. I mean, if you Google and search on these flower wreaths, you're going to find some wild colors. So, oh, pink flower. Okay, a natural leaf. No problem. All right, let's go ahead and start making some flower petals. All right, so we're starting with my first color. For me, my first color is teal. So I'm going to have 16 pieces of this teal. All right, so we're going to make a flower. The way we make a flower petal is we take this square piece of poly burlap and we're going to go take one corner of it and fold it over to the opposite corner. All right, so you're kind of folding it and turning it into a triangle. Okay, now this takes a little bit of hand work, so just practice it several times. It may take several times before you get it. You're going to take both of your hands. This hand, all right, you're going to hold the mesh here. You're going to take this hand and kind of pull out on the mesh. Pull out on the mesh. Then you're going to take this hand and you're going to start scrunching the mesh up with your fingers this way. So my fingers are going this way. And then my thumb, let's see if I can. All right, so I've got fingers working in one direction. I've got thumb working in the other direction. So that once this is all scrunched up, you've got something that looks like this. It looks like a flower petal. And then on the other end, you got this little ball or a little scrunched up piece of mesh. This is the part that's going to go in the zip tie. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put mine in and then we'll make another one. So you're going to take this end of this mesh. You're going to stick it into the zip tie about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. And then we're going to close this up. You got your first petal. All right, so we're taking our square, turn it into a triangle, fold two of the corners, corner to corner. We're going to pull out here in the center. This is what kind of gives you your pucker. And now you're just going to scrunch, 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 scrunch. You crapped? I'm sorry. I hope it wasn't messy. Put it there through the hole, through the zip tie. Tighten it up. Make another petal. Turn it into a triangle. Mary, what are you trying to tell me? And you want to try to keep your ends as square as possible so that you get a complete petal. Pull it out in the center. Scratch, 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 scratch. Mary, did we lose you? Did you burn yourself? Are you okay? Scratch, 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 scratch. Scratch, 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 scratch. Maria, if you're still on, you might want to message or text Mary. Make sure she's okay. Am I still live? You're good? Okay. I wasn't sure what happened. She probably tripped on Darwin. For y'all that don't know, Mary and Maria and I have become pretty close friends. Darwin is Maria's dog. Mary and Maria hung out today. I'm so jealous. But that's because Maria's moving away to the other side of the U.S. Did I say Maria's dog? You're welcome, Linda. Everything will still be there in the group, so you'll still have access to it. Pull out. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Pinch, pinch, pinch. The police are checking your door. Did your door commit a robbery? Is your door now a felon? I don't know. Is robbery a felony? I have no idea. Wow. A spot across America trip. All right, we pulled. We're just scratching. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Lucky dog. in a way, but I know she's going to miss her parents. Wanted to know why office light may be on. Oh, okay. That's pretty, yeah. How's everyone doing? Are your pedals going like you want them to? Pull tight. Scratch, 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 scratch. He's good. He's upstairs, probably working on his laptop, hanging out with the dogs so they don't howl. That's usually what he does during my lives. Because if he was down here in his office while I was on a live, they're prone to howling because they're by themselves up there all alone. I can already tell you I'm going to have to cut 2 more of the teal because I'm going to be too short. I told y'all I always mess this up. I messed it up even if I'm not on a live. No, he's not making a flower wreath. He's not a crafty individual. I mean, he's crafty with technology, but he's not crafty with craft supplies. All right, I'm going to move right on to the white row, to my third row. And you're going to make this petal exactly the same as you did. All your petals are going to match. The only thing different here is just that the mesh is different if you're using checked mesh. So this is checked polyburlap mesh. And that's why we work from the outside in. Each layer lays over the previous layer. Everybody's busy making petals. If you're enjoying this, give me some hearts or thumbs up. Thank y'all. I definitely don't want y'all to be sitting there like, what did I get myself into? Thanks, Lori. It is pretty. Since the house is empty, I've been playing ball with Heidi. You have to have 2 balls, so you can always trade one. Now she's trying to figure out how to get both balls in her mouth, so I can't have one. Oh, that's so cute. Our dogs were never into fetching. They're into just being constantly loved on and sleeping. They're both very much lap dogs. Running after balls. Lucy used to, when she was a puppy, would run after a stick. But it wasn't to bring it back to you. You would have to chase her to get the stick again, to throw it again. She was a mess. Oh, I'm glad, Mary. Mary's going to be making and selling flower wreaths. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, and I need 8. All right, y'all keep putting your petals in. I'm going to cut 2 more pieces of Well, what color is yours? Yours is yellow. All right, now I can turn my heating tool off. I promised it to whoever buys it in my Etsy store. Or the highest bidder. I almost made a leaf, y'all. It is. It can be. It just takes some getting used to. James, are you still with us? What kind of crafting do you like to do? Yeah, these are wire cutters, wire snips. They're just Deco Exchange's brand of them. I gotta get some leads listed on Etsy. I've got like, I think 5 or 6 wreaths made that I need to get listed. Oh, James, do you have videos of you making cookies? Before the pandemic, I was taking cookie making classes and learning how to do the royal icing and all the designs. This lady was teaching classes at her house, and it was so much fun. Yay! It is such a skill. It really is. We were fortunate, like this lady would have the cookies already made for us, and then she would have all the icing in little different bags, and she would just teach you step by step. And I went to a couple of classes. This was before I knew all y'all. And I mean, obviously I brought home what I made, but I don't remember. I think I made some batches and took them to Memphis with me. It was during the first ones. The first class I went to was during the holidays, back in like 2019. Oh, cool. Do you make them just for fun? Do you sell them? Pinch, 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 pinch. Oh wow, those are some other classes that I would love to take eventually, your cake decorating classes. I love to buy beautifully decorated cakes for people's birthdays. When I first started making wreaths, my hands would hurt a lot, but I guess my hands have gotten used to the movements or the different manipulations. They don't hurt as much now. One last petal. And my masterpiece is almost complete. Okay. I am done with my petals. Who else is still working on petals? Thanks, Kathy. You did all your petals. Good job. It's all right, Karen. No worries. We're not going anywhere. So I've been gathering different projects and putting them like in my different metal pans that I have. And so I've got a patriotic project to work on. And what I've been doing is for the projects that I'm not going live on, I'm just recording them and then doing the different videos with. I've been studying this software, Filmora, for about 2 months, trying to figure it out. If y'all haven't figured it out, let's see, my Etsy page is www.jnorrellcreations.com. All of my St. Patrick's Day wreaths right now are on sale, 15% off through St. Patrick's Day. So a couple more days. There's like 6 or 7 really pretty St. Patrick's Day wreaths in there. Mary, are you done with your petals yet? Well, the first flower wreath that I made, yes, my hands were hurting so bad. And the first few deco mesh wreaths I made, my hands and fingers hurt. So it goes away. You just got to train your hands with these new movements. So you just keep going. Just push through the pain. Beauty is pain, and sometimes making beautiful things is pain. All right, just let me know when you're ready to move on to putting in the flower head or flower center. You're such a trooper, Mary. You can do this. My iPad is reminding me to take out the yard waste. Wednesdays, or let's say Tuesday night, you put the yard waste out. Not that we have any right now because we haven't started mowing the yard. I have to have reminders and outlook for everything. Like when to take pills, when to give the dogs their pills, when to take the regular trash out, when to take the recycling out, when to take the yard waste out. Everything in my life goes on my Outlook calendar. The only thing I don't schedule is breathing and potty breaks. Oh, wow. Y'all's grass is already growing. Ours hasn't started growing yet. I mean, we just had snow this past weekend, so. But yeah, we have neighborhood kids that take care of our yard. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the flower center in. All right, so if you look here in the center of your wreath, you've got your last row, your fifth row of holes. So you're just going to pick 2 holes and then pick the 2 holes opposite that. You're going to take your pipe cleaner. So stick your pipe cleaners in 2 of the holes. And then come over here. And stick your pipe cleaners in the 2 holes opposite. All right, and turn it upside down. Pull your pipe cleaners or Chanel stems tight, and then twist. Same thing on the other side. Pull it tight and twist, twist, twist. All right, once you've twisted it several times, you're going to snip off. And I come up a little bit, about an inch, inch and a half. All right. We're going to twist, finish twisting these. And then I'm going to fold it over and push it down back into that hole. Just pick one of the holes. Same thing on the other one. Push it down into the hole. And this is where the packing tape comes in. I'm going to take a piece of packing tape. I'm going to put a piece of packing tape over that Chanel stem. That way it doesn't pop out and scratch someone's door or wall. James, I purchased this flower center. You can purchase the flower centers. Just go to shoplikejohn.com and click on one of my suppliers and just search for flower center. Once this video will be saved into my group, but the beginning of this video has my method of attaching the pipe cleaners to the flower head, and you use U-pins. You wrap the Chanel stem around the U-pin, put glue on the U-pin, and then stick the U-pins into the back of the flower head, and then hot glue all the way around. And if you want to join the group where I actually have a written out tutorial, you can go to flowerclass.jnorrellcreations.com and join the class. All right. So we've got those 2 things done. Now we're going to add our our hanger. So these 2 holes that were close together on row 1, we're going to stick our Chanel stems through those holes. Thank you, Liz. All right. So we're going to stick our Chanel stems through, and now we're going to twist the Chanel stems. Twist, 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 twist. All right. I'm going to take what's left over and stick that back into the hole. And then we're going to take our third piece of packing tape and put it over that chenille stem. That way these chenille stems don't work their way back out of the hole and scratch someone's door or wall. And then y'all, that's it. You've got yourself a beautiful flower. And what's even better about these flowers is they're very flat. So these flowers will fit between a front door and a screen door. And a lot of people are looking for wreaths that will do that. Thank y'all for the hearts. At the end, I also like to kind of go back around and see if anything has frayed. And if it has frayed, just trim off any of the frays. You can also zhuzh your petals because you want to make sure. So sometimes I'll take my 2 petals and kind of separate them a little bit to make sure they're covering up the white, the bottom part of the white. Like see right here, the bottom part of this white is showing. So I'm just going to kind of separate my petals a little bit to cover up that white. You can see your zip ties where? Like, where can you see them? Do you need to like do what I'm doing? I'll kind of separate the petals a little bit. I mean, you can manipulate this mesh. So some of it may be like the way you shaped your petal. If your petals, if you stretch the mesh out too much, or you scrunched it too tight and made your leaves more narrow, then that could be why you're seeing more of the zip ties. You want your leaves not to be too narrow. See how all of my leaves or all of my petals were wide at the bottom. So a lot of that, y'all, is just going to come from watching videos over and over. So like here, you can still see white. So I need to just move that out of the way. And if it's like what needs to happen there is that is just sticking up. And I'm just going to cut that white out. There, see? Now I closed up that hole. Yay! I'm glad you love your wreath. Make sure y'all take pictures of your wreaths and post them in the group so that we can all look at each other's wreaths. Yeah, absolutely. You can make a center. I mean, if you've got a round piece of styrofoam that's at least 6.5 or 6 1/4 inches, you could even go 6.5 inches because this is a 6 1/4 inch flower round. I mean, you can even buy 6-inch metal signs that are sublimated and put them on the center here. There's all kind of different things you can use for the center of your wreath. Yes, lots of zhuzhing. And just work with it. Play with it. And, this first wreath, all you're going to probably see is a lot of the imperfections. But I bet it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, I'm glad you like yours, Kathy. That makes me happy. All right, y'all. That is it. I will get this video downloaded and put into the group once it's finished processing with Facebook. And then I will work on finishing up the video tutorial that I'm doing tomorrow. And I'll get that in the group. And then you've already got the written tutorial that you can download and print out. This would sell in my Etsy shop for $99.99 or $99.97. Y'all are so welcome. This has been wonderful. And James, I'm glad to have a guy on. I love it. I love that we have a guy on the live. I hope you will come back and join us for other lives. All right, y'all. I'm going to get ready and go to bed. It is way past my bedtime. I'm sure it's past some of y'all's too. All right, y'all. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful night.